Hey everybody, my name is JP Leonard.
And I am Tyler Arceneaux.
And you are listening and watching.
Yeah, hopefully both.
Hopefully both. To this lovely podcast.
What if people listen to podcasts with no sound? They just watch us?
Listen to Helen Keller Hour. You are hopefully listening and watching to, this is the worst. Okay.
No, this is good. Keep going.
Okay.
Roll it.
We're dying down here. It's a podcast, obviously. And this is, we're having a good time. This is episode 9.
This is episode 9.
9. We've made it 9 deep in here.
Yes, 9
That's
deep.
the only time I go 9 deep in anything.
Yeah. What do you do? 9 fingers? Like, why would you leave the
pudding all the time?
Why would you leave the 10th finger out is all I'm asking.
Well, I want to keep one clean.
This is the longest intro we've done now by far. I love it.
Shall we roll the intro?
More riffing, baby. Who we have?
Oh, this episode we have Laurie Kilmartin.
We remember?
Yeah. Laurie Kilmartin.
Oh, yeah. Legendary comedian.
Legendary. A beast. And that's it.
Yep. Stay tuned.
Roll the intro. And we are back.
Yes, that was a great intro that you made for us.
Yeah, that was the longest, dumbest intro we've ever done. It's almost like we haven't done this in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tyler, how are you doing, buddy?
I am dying down here.
Uh-huh.
As you can see, I'm extra red. I just spent the entire weekend at the soccer fields.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, haven't been...
He wasn't playing soccer, but you knew that.
Yeah. Yes.
He was the ball.
And they just rolled me. I just like to go watch 11-year-old girls soccer.
Hang on, my phone. I just got an Amber Alert. All right, next. Sorry.
Oh, man. Let's see. When's the last time we talked? It's been a couple weeks.
I hope 2 weeks ago, maybe. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and start with the biggest shakeup that's happened in our scene recently.
Oh, no.
Which is my Tuesday night open mic, which used to be every Tuesday at a former. We're not even gonna.
I didn't know we were talking. I thought something else. I was thinking of other drama. But
No.
Go ahead. That's good. Yeah.
I didn't even mean drama so much as we're a big shift in our scene.
You can say it. It used to be at Atmosphere.
Yeah, for about a year we were running a show there. Me and John Merrifield, Lafayette's Most Wanted.
Yep.
It was a good show. One of the better open mics in the South.
I agree.
If I'm being honest.
Agree.
However, we had a little bit of drama with the venue. They're not super friendly to certain people who can't walk, and it has caused a little bit of turmoil, some back and forth, and we all thought it was best for us to just move on.
No, I think y'all rolled out, but go ahead.
We rolled out and up on into Cité des Arts.
Yeah, so y'all had a layover. Yeah, we did one night at Blue Moon, which was fun. Which is fun. Shout out Blue Moon.
Yeah, if we ever had to do that again for whatever reason, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's a fun place.
Fun little place. We could do some novel shows there in the future, I feel like.
And then now y'all at Cité.
Yeah,
y'all did one. How'd it go?
Beautiful.
Nice.
Real nice. One of our problems with the setup at Atmosphere, although it's a great venue, it feels real nice there. We had a lot of problem with lighting. Mm-hmm. The lighting on the stage wasn't real conducive to comedy. The comics' faces were never in the light. Yeah. It was very hard to manage that. And here we just turn off all the lights and we have 2 spotlights on the stage that are white, and it's like a comedy room.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just real dark, real intimate, real small. Feels great. Yeah, so check us out every Tuesday.
Yeah. So Oof Comedy presents what's it called now? Just Oof Open
Oof
Mic?
Comedy Hour.
Oof Comedy Hour.
Yep. Every
Tuesday now at Cité des Arts. That's downtown on Jefferson Street. If you know where the green room's at.
Vine Street.
Vine Street. Yeah, you just take that little side street and you're good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
We did some other shows together. Let's see.
Yeah, let's start. We had a big weekend. We had a double hitter of like theme shows. So on the Friday night, we brought down Jeffrey Gaucher and Isaac Cozell from New Orleans, and we had Wait What, which is a comedy drinking game. And I gave up my spot to Joshua Jordan. That way he can be here, since he left
Humble
us.
daddy.
He's a traitor. But it was fun, though. He was coming to town anyway for the next night, but I gave it up. And it was a beautiful, beautiful show. It was so much fun. Like, Jeffrey was the designated drinker, and he was so drunk, and it was great.
During my set, I had several times I had to consciously make a decision not to comment on Jeffrey's laughter.
Yeah, it was good. And I had the pleasure of having to, like, write all the cues for the comedians. So they put up a piece of paper, and it's like things they do or say. And boom, we was like 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
When you put your foot up on the stool, it was the funniest thing you've ever done without speaking. And it was just like...
it was just effortless. And I was like, Jesus. I was like, I didn't even say anything yet. People are dying.
That was great. Yeah. But here's the best thing about that night. It wasn't the show. It was my new light. And
the sign.
I have to cut to that.
We don't have the camera on. All they see is us holding our hands.
I'm gonna superimpose a picture here, but we got a brand new sign. There's a guy on Instagram. I'm gonna shout him out because he is wonderful. I started following him. I saw him. He makes signs for many great podcasts and comedy clubs. His name is Ted Munz, M-U-N-Z Mosaic, and it's Ted Munz Mosaic Art. On Instagram. I mean, he's got like one for the Mothership. He's got one for Theo Vaughn. He's got one for the Stand. They are beautiful. I hit him up a long time ago. I was like, hey man, just let me see what the price is. And he told me a price and I was like, nah, like I need my own comedy club.
What was it, like $2K?
It was up there. I would say 1,000 plus, you know, but
which is
worth it.
Sure, worth it. But also we don't have an extra $1,000 to spend on a sign.
Yeah.
Right?
So he hit me up like, a month and a half ago, and he goes, look, I'm bored. I don't have any jobs lined up. I want to make a deal with you. And he gave me a deal I could not resist. And this sign is beautiful. The amount of hours on it and the mosaic, I'll put it again there. The mosaic tile, it's got LEDs that change colors. Then I was like, how am I going to get this bad boy mounted? And so the GM, shout out Jimmy here, the Doubletree, he got his crew. They hung it up for me.
It took 7 people.
7 people. They were
little people.
It was one man and 6 mice.
It was 3 different sets of 2 little people on top of each other in trench coats.
Yeah, and a mogwai, and they got it done, and it's beautiful. It changed it, and so Ted Mosaic Art. He's an honorary.
What's his last name?
I just said it. Ted Munz, M-U-N-Z. Ted Munz Mosaic Art. Shout out to him. Wonderful, beautiful pieces of art. And he's an honorary sponsor. I'm gonna give him what he gave. I'm keep plugging him. And then with that, Ounce of Hope, another sponsors, gave us these new banners. So the big giant banner's gone. Now we got the 2 banners, which we had last episode. It's really framing the stage. And also shout out to Gator Custom Graphics for this custom tablecloth here too, which you probably won't see on this angle, but you'll see on the other one. And it's coming together. This room is a beaut now, and it's a killer.
I'm gonna ask you the question that everyone at home is dying to know.
Once I was drunk. Okay.
What happened to the big banner?
The big banner is now in my garage.
Being used as a
thing in the corner.
Cum rag.
Come on now.
No, that's you. Come on now.
No. The whole that thing is 8 by 10.
Dude,
okay?
wait, did you take it down?
I took it down and broke it apart. It all fits in one big old giant bag, and the banner's rolled up. It's in there in the corner. It's going to come out for something. We already talked about making a fake wall for Comedy Festival. We'll talk about that later. I don't want to start any drama.
We're not. Do you know what today is? Hey.
Today's the day I wore my R.A. Shafir mushroom shirt. It glows in the dark, by the way. So
I noticed your Mitch Hedberg pin.
Oh, yeah.
That's cute.
I lost Mitch. So my black blue jean jacket, we're going way off topic. I have my Kyle Kinane, the Big Dick Bat pin. And but the blue one I wear the Mitch Hedberg,
Nice.
And I have a few of these pins. Greg Fitzsimmons has one he gave to me. I have a Roadhouse one. It's just like I'm not a pin dude, but like it means something.
I think you are now.
I am now.
You have a few jackets with pins on them. You're a pin guy.
I'm a bedazzle it.
Yeah, you're a pin.
Pin it on me.
Pinnis. Right. You're a pin. I don't know. Trying to get something going here.
If you guys are still watching, thank you.
Thanks for listening,
Thank you.
watching.
So, thanks for pinning us on top of our Instagram. Okay. So that was Friday, the Wait What. And then Saturday night, we had a humdinger. We had You Look Like, a comedy roast battle that's put on by Will Loden out of Houston and Big Baby Green.
Man, so much fun.
Benjamin Daniel came to town, and it was Josh Jordan was doing a spot also.
Yeah.
But that roast battle was brutal. And Tyler, you want to tell us how it ended?
It ended with me in the finals getting a well-deserved loss to Drew Gotro. I will not sit here and act like Drew didn't earn it, because we know how I am. I tell the truth. If I lose, I lose. I don't often lose. I lost this night. Drew brought the heat. He said two things that I think out of context I tried telling other people and they didn't understand how funny it was. But the one about he said I look like I asked him to go to my birthday.
That was, yeah.
I don't know how to explain to somebody why that's funny, but everybody I tell out of context, they don't laugh. But that murdered the room.
It's funny. I can't explain it.
I moved the mic down and went, I can't even start my joke. Thank you, Drew. like people were laughing so hard for so long.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which is an absolutely stellar joke. He said, it looks like my girlfriend lets me use the car while she's at work.
Dude.
Bro.
And those are not even fat jokes.
No, but that's how good they are.
Yeah, that was good.
Universally great joke writer.
Drew is now on level that I can't comprehend. Just like his comedy's so good, but that roast battle. I let my wife, when I was transferring, I let my wife watch it, and she was dying, and she said, "Is Tyler okay?"
Yes, I'm dying down here.
Yeah.
No, it was fun, man. Round one, I got to go against very good friend of ours, Josh Watts. We had so much fun. I know there was a ton of good stuff too. John Merrifield versus Terrence, Morgan versus Drew Gotro.
Yeah.
Even the lesbian Mexican that we roasted in the middle of the round.
Oh yeah. By that
you
point,
guys see the clips.
Yeah. We're gonna have that. That's the next thing I'm mixing down after this podcast. But that's gonna be coming out on our Lafayette Comedy YouTube channel. And it's good. We'll also put it out on the You Look Like official YouTube channel. But that's gonna be a beast. It was a beautiful night. Good hang as always after.
Oh, the best.
Thank you for bringing me home.
You were hammered.
Anytime my wife, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, can you give me a ride to Doubletree? She's like, oh, you had a good time.
That was, but at this night, your daughter was working the door. I don't know if that's like a secret or not for the podcast.
No, it's fine. Yeah,
but she was like, "Is my dad okay?" Like didn't she text your wife?
Yeah,
like Dad is hammered.
She rats me out. She's like, "Dad's gone." I'm all, yeah.
This was legitimately probably upwards 1 to 2 top drunks I've ever seen you.
Oh yeah, other than 2 episodes ago when we talked about Houston, but
those 2 nights probably 1 and 2.
We had a good time.
Hard to tell.
And I made it a point like Sunday. I was like, look, I'm gonna take a break from drinking, and I took a break.
Yeah.
Until the Wednesday, and when we had Adopted Dog Brewing, but I only drink beer, so it was our first show at Adopted Dog Brewing called Hair to the Dog, and it was postponed from the beginning of the month because of extreme weather. But man, we had a hot crowd. It was a cold night. It was in the 50s, but man, people were in blankets, but they ate it up.
Yeah, it was fun.
No one left. Everyone enjoyed it. Shout out to Adopted Dog Brewing, the staff, the beer, the food. Everything was great. So we had that.
I can imagine a warmer night being explosive over there because it was like as fun as it was, it's just like it was cold. Yeah, and everyone was noticeably cold. And it is kind of weird to do comedy outside in the cold. But
the good thing is, too, is that you can sit inside and
listen.
The show is piped through there. And it was great. And there were people who came, they're like, we didn't know it was a comedy show. Can we stay? I'm like, yeah, if you buy a ticket. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And they're like, yeah, it was so good.
It is so funny, though, because they pipe the comedy sounds into the bathroom. And it's so funny to hear jokes out of just jokes with you can't hear the audience laughter. You're just like, I wonder if that landed.
That's just a manifesto then at this point, you know?
There was one moment that I'll be sad if I don't mention because it's one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in my life, and I'm the only person who saw it. But I did share it with everybody when I got on stage. But Drew Gaudreau was on stage at one point, and he said the words, "We could just suck each other's cocks." Not giving away any more of his joke. That's his material. However,
that's just his bumper sticker.
That's the line. That's the line in his joke, which is a great line, and people laughed. However, there was an old ass couple walking out, and they were standing there reading the sign that said "Ticketed event, comedy only." And when the old man heard Drew say "We could just suck each other's cocks," he literally goes, "Nope," and turns around and walks out. And his wife was like, "Wah, wah," and just follows him frantically. It was the funniest thing.
He's like, "That's what the Great Depression was for." But.
I looked around and I was like, "Did no one else saw that but me?" Okay, well,
no, it was really good. There was there was one dog there. Like, come on, man, bring your dogs. But it was so
please,
good.
thank you for not bringing your dogs.
Oh yeah, Tyler's got allergies, but the dog stayed inside, and we put you outside, so that feels right.
Yeah.
Y'all have the same hair color. He was a goatee. And then so that was Wednesday.
Let me back up one day though,
all right,
because we did before the Wait What show, we did Ghost Roast in Baton Rouge, and I went up against Drew. And
who are you?
I'm Tyler Arceneaux.
Okay.
And I was portraying the only character that I can, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Drew was legendary mafioso John Gotti.
Ooh.
And I
Did he wear a
slayed.
hat? Did he wear a hat?
No,
Okay.
actually no, which was
Good.
wild. Like hair slicked back, Drew looked wild. Like
Yeah.
I would not. People were walking up to him and did not recognize him. It was hilarious.
Well, when he came here that weekend, and then he had like a ghost goatee, and everyone was like, "Whoa!"
Well, he had shaved and everything.
Yeah.
I ended up winning, so he beat me, and you look like, which mattered a lot. There was more people there. We did Ghost Roast in front of like 10 people.
Yeah.
It was a great
Yeah.
show though. Like, I mean,
That was
we
at
gave
the
those.
station?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those 10 people got every dollar they paid for. It was a good show. But yeah, that was Ghost Roast.
Nice. And then then Friday, we had a show in Baton Rouge at Rally Cap Brewing.
And I was there too. Well, we do so many shows together. We're like becoming a package.
I know. It's
one big giant
one
ball
big
sack.
heavy package. Jesus Christ.
Which one of us gets the angle on that? I'm wondering because we spoke at the same time.
You can take it. I'm doing a split, a side by side. Shout out to Rally Cap Brewing, one of our favorite places. So last show, I had to rush home before the show started. I had a family emergency. This time I was there. I told my family, I'm like, don't get sick. If you got to go to the emergency room, don't text me until like 10 o'clock. And we had a great show. So we had, let's go through them. We had Isaac. We had Isaac Cozell. We had Vincent Zambon, Siamedes. Terrence Delane. Who else? So long ago.
Jacob Guidry,
because he rode with us. I guess I should remember that. And shout out to Rally Cap. They have a new pizza oven.
Good pizza.
Bruh, I'm still hurting. I woke up this morning. I took a bite of that pizza, and it was so hot that I had like skin hanging down. It was like Backdraft the movie in my mouth. Back mouth.
You just look like a burn victim on the inside of your mouth.
Dude, it looked like Fire Marshal Bill, but the inside. Such a good show.
Incredible.
Beautiful. And with that, I'll just let you know. So we always book 6 to 8 weeks. So the next Comedy at the Cap is not till June 14th. However, in April, and I forget the date offhand, I'll pull it up real quick.
4/17?
4/26, April 26th, a Friday. I know we're in Festival International weekend, but whatever. We're back there, but we're not doing Comedy at the Cap.
No.
We're bringing Stone versus Drunk versus Sober
That's correct.
to Rally Cap Brewing. We're going to blow some minds.
God damn.
It's going to be a hot show. Tyler's on it. But, we'll have a good time. So that was Rally Cap. And then our last night, which is the Saturday, our second show at Gator Cove, Wildcat Brothers Distillery for Gator Fight. And, boy, did we have a great lineup. We started with Michael Corey, killed. Don Shake Snyder, rare form that night.
Look, bro, Don's new on the scene, but it's hard to deny
A dirty
the amount of
grandpa.
laughter. Yeah. I mean, when he gets off stage on my mic, I always say, "I love this dirty old fucker."
Yeah.
And I mean it when I say it.
It's a big shock factor, and man, it was so good. Then Maggie went up, Maggie Shipley, then Morgan Wright, and then we closed it out with Jess Kinney, and it was a hot show. Great hang after. Lots of old fashions and rum and cigars.
Yo, their old fashions are out of control.
Dude, so good.
The smoked old fashions, you had one of those?
Yeah,
oh my
like
God.
3 last. It was last night, so yes, I had 3 of those. I even had some drink that was made with like ginger beer, and it was phenomenal. I think it was dark and stormy. So they did one. The first show they did one called Laffy Taffy, which is like an old fashioned with chocolate bitters and banana. So I cornered May, the bartender. Shout out May, and shout out Lexi and Tate, who are great. But I cornered May, and I said, I've got a drink. We are doing the JP, we're calling it.
Okay.
It's the Butterfinger Old Fashioned.
Okay.
So it's an old fashioned with chocolate bitters and like a butterscotch schnapps kind of sweet liqueur. Someone's getting diarrhea. It's probably me. But that's going to be on the next one. So we're back there April 5th for Gator Fight. Tickets on sale now as I got everything up today.
Man. Yeah, that shows I'm excited about the potential of that venue.
Yeah.
Just as a whole, cool things, whenever it gets nice, they have a huge outside area with a big stage. I mean, you can do something big there.
We're gonna roll multiple shows, and it's a great venue, and they're great people. Both the owners love comedy, so hey, what else?
Yeah, they are good dudes.
All right, I think that wrapped up our little summary. Shall we get into the interview?
Let's do it, man.
All right. So last month, I forget the date on that one.
December something.
No, it wasn't December.
Yeah.
It was like January.
2 months ago.
January 25th.
2 months ago.
At the ACA for the Comedy Club Series, we had Laurie Kilmartin. She is a comedy legend. I got to do a festival, the Birmingham Comedy Festival, like a year pre-COVID. Her and Jackie Cation were the headliners.
Oh,
Me
so
and
good.
Mary
They have a
Devon
podcast
were on
together.
that, and it was like I got to watch Mary Devon and like freak out how good her set was. It was just great. Laurie Kilmartin's a beast, and we had a wonderful show. Maggie was the host. Errol Isaac Norman was featuring, and then Laurie Kilmartin closed it out. And we did a very quick little interview because it was after the show. Everything was late. And Laura, we're also during like a little where she lives. There was a COVID outbreak, and the flu was over here. So she did keep her mask on for this interview.
I thought it was just because you farted.
That too, always. But
she was like, I can't do this.
Like, I'm like, but I'm eating beans, so I'm trying to get that protein. But no, she was great, and we had a quick little chat. So check it out, Laurie Kilmartin. We're down here. All right. Hey, everybody. We are here with Laurie Kilmartin. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Welcome to
thank you.
Louisiana.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
So for those of you watching, we just finished the show at the ACA, and we had some characters there.
There were a lot of characters, but I kind of like that. I like the audience to pop and bubble around, and to me, that's kind of fun. And there's very rarely does it get so bad that I have to have someone removed.
Yeah, I was
So
worried
we
a little
weren't-
bit.
So were we close to that or no?
No.
Okay.
She handled it perfectly. It was. I think at one point she was, "Lady, stop yelling! I can hear you."
I know. You have to be direct sometimes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been doing comedy so long, and a lot of it's just crowd management and crowd control. It's not your jokes or anything.
yeah.
It's them being kind of afraid of you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess they learn. Usually, they learn to not jump in when you're talking.
Just
you know.
be turds.
Yeah.
So when did you start comedy?
In '87
All right.
in San Francisco.
San Francisco,
Yeah.
Bay Area. Okay.
Yeah.
And then who were your peers when you started?
In my crew, like Margaret Cho was like the
Oh, wow.
star.
Yeah.
And she was like 18 maybe when she started,
Oh,
and I
wow.
was like 21 or 22. And Greg Barrett and Tony
Yeah.
Kameen and Karen Anderson, who like was instrumental in creating Ellen's show,
Yeah,
her
yeah.
afternoon show.
Okay.
And Kevin Kataoka and Ray James, and I don't know if you know
I
all
know
of
a
those
lot,
guys.
yeah.
Oh, you do?
I was like a comedy nerd as a kid.
Oh,
Like,
great,
I
great.
watched all that, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Margaret Cho was like sticks out to me.
Oh my God, yeah.
From her early, when she really started popping, like even at the Improv, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you stay in San Francisco long?
I did. I stayed there like 10 years, and then I moved to New York. I lived with my parents, and I just was like a road comic based out of my parents' house in a suburb of San Francisco. So it was, I don't know. Everyone else was moving to LA, and I didn't feel LA. It just didn't.
Were you working in LA though?
No, I was mostly doing
Interesting.
road work. Like
That's cool.
the last time I was here was in the 90s. I was working at the Funny Bone in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
That's
Did you do the
awesome.
one
Oh
in
my
Shreveport?
God.
I think we
I
had to talk-
didn't.
You didn't? Okay. Probably for the best. But yeah.
That one, I don't know. I don't remember who the opener was, but he was a local guy, white guy, total Cajun. I didn't know
my
what he
goodness.
was saying.
When was this?
He
The,
was
like,
killing-
90s?
90s.
Oh, man.
Killing.
That's how
And
it
I'm
is.
like, I don't even know the words coming out of your mouth. And I was
He's
like,
probably
oh my
dead
God,
with fentanyl
dude.
now.
I bet so.
yeah.
I bet he is.
So New York, what was the scene like? What were the clubs? Was this 90s? Was this
This
the
is
boom
like
or
99.
Okay.
Did you,
Oh, okay.
you went in with some momentum?
I had just done New Faces at Montreal.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Okay,
So
so yeah.
whatever momentum that is,
This-
but it's not. It wasn't huge. Like
But I
was,
guess back then it was more than it is now. Still,
I would say,
though,
yeah,
right?
I would say it's weighted more now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
then and now.
I don't know. It helped me it helped me get an audition at the comic strip, and then I did okay. I don't know. What I realized when I moved to New York was I was a suburb road comic. I was used to doing shows in front of suburban audiences.
Real people.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like a certain kind of like married parents, whatever. So I was like the young, dating, didn't have kids
Yeah.
comic to the audience that was mostly parents or older people. And then when I went to New York, it was like, oh, this table's from Harlem, this table's from the Netherlands. It's like, what? It
Yeah.
was just like this crazy mix, and you really had to. I had to come up with a different way to relate to the audience because I wasn't like this, crazy, ex-Catholic. Like they didn't give
Yeah.
a shit. No one gives a shit. No one's Catholic, and it wasn't a thing that anyone connected with. So it took me a while to like become like a city act. I would say like at least a year and a half.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So was like, and that day was the Cellar. Was that what were your main clubs you
The
did
comic
besides that?
strip. New York Comedy Club was at the time a little more down. It's upscale now.
Yeah.
New York Comedy Club's really nice. But it was a little more, there was a lot of health code violations. But I loved it. Al Martin, who runs it, who owned it at the time, gave me tons of spots. And Gotham was in a different place. It was a lot
Yeah.
smaller. Stand-up New York, of course. And then I didn't work the Cellar till after I worked for Tough Crowd for a year, and
Yeah.
I did the Jim Norton roast.
Yeah.
And I killed, and Esty was in the audience, and so that got me an audition at the Cellar.
Nice.
But then
nice.
she stopped working me after I had a baby.
Yeah. I'm a Tough Crowd connoisseur.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I always like tell people go watch Tough Crowd.
Yeah.
I think it's actually impressive how much you killed on there. You
I
had
did
several
okay.
episodes.
Yeah. It was nerve-wracking.
You had some bangers, but
Oh,
like
thanks.
there's so many dominating personalities
I
on
know.
that show. What was that
know.
like?
They were all so tight too. Like you would,
Friends with each other, you mean?
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
like hard to like kind of get in.
Impossible. And when LA comics would come do the show, I would just be like, oh my God, you guys, good luck. They were a really tight, tough little crew. The regulars on Tough Crowd, and they mostly were at the Cellar, which is kind of Colin wanted to recreate the table.
Yeah.
And it was tough to break in with those guys. I mean, I think because I wrote on the show, they sort of were like, all right, accepted me a little bit that way. But that was really hard.
What was writing on that show like? Like how? I guess I'm interested to know behind the scenes how much of that was Like how much of that was riffing versus writing?
It wasn't that much. It was weird. Like the Act 3 was the thing that we wrote, so that was like
The monologues.
No, the Act 3 was like games or things with the regulars, right?
Sketches and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was what the writers were kind of assigned to do. We were also available to help people work on if they wanted jokes, for topics.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
but
that's
most
cool.
comics didn't.
yeah. I see
everyone's
why.
got an ego and stuff. But and then Colin always wrote his own monologue. He was the guy on the monologue, and sometimes we would help with the Act 4, which is just basically like a little thing that people would say.
Right.
Yeah.
That was always my favorite part.
Yeah.
Because you get to see really just all the bullshit that happened on the episode prior. You get to see what everybody really cares about that day.
Yeah.
Or like their true voices.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're known for, you shake some trees or whatever. You've had some Fox News people come after you for jokes or whatever.
Yeah.
When you started, were you like that, or like what was your style? Were you kind of hitting I don't want to say controversial, but like were you kind of hitting some strong points in, or were you kind of like in the middle?
I think I tried to. It was, I was like on the road, so it like I always had an abortion joke, always. But I would do them like I remember just like I was at Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm like, if I can pull this off this week, this joke, that'll be my greatest accomplishment. So
absolutely.
It was always stuff where I would try to sneak things in, and then if it was potentially something that would upset people, if they tell the joke before they even figured out they just laughed at an abortion joke, get out and move on to something else. It is a victory.
Did you do that as a younger comic too, or?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I find a lot of younger comics who try that don't really pull it off as well. It seems sometimes like a skill set that needs to be built over time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Or at least they get better at it.
And you sort of have to be charming enough to get away with stuff, and that's also a skill too. Making yourself likable and outgoing enough so the audience will, even if they don't agree with you, that they like you anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How long did you stay in New York?
10 years, but I go back all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, where did you move after that? You moved back to
Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then, where's home now?
Mostly in LA,
Okay.
but I go to New York once a week, or once a month usually. Yeah.
All right. Nice. When did you hook up with Jackie Cation?
Oh, we started doing our podcast in 2015, I think.
Okay.
We just noticed that most podcasts at the time were male comics talking to other male comics.
Still is.
About being male
very
comics. And we're like, hey, there's another default, and it's female comics, and our experience is different. And so we just decided to talk about it like it was the default, because it is to us. So,
yeah. Absolutely. And then, so I think first time I saw you was at, we talked about earlier, the Birmingham Comedy Festival. You and Jackie, and then Mary Devin Dupuis from New Orleans was there. And I remember she was on stage, and one of y'all leaned over and like, who's that? And I was like, oh, that's Mary Devin Dupuis. And she got off stage, like, come see the acts about you. She's like, I'm going to throw up. And it was like greatest. It was like, oh, okay, like this is a part of climbing the ladder.
That's
it's
what
like,
festivals are all about.
Having someone acknowledge you. So it's beautiful. So you're an amazing writer. You've written for Conan. You've written for the Emmys and everything. Like, how does that?
Not the Emmys. The White House Correspondent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does that come about for you? Is it mostly you approaching, or are you seeking that out?
Oh, seeking. I mean,
Okay.
when I after Tough Crowd, I wrote on a couple other shows for a little bit, and then. Between that time, I had a baby, and it was like, oh, I cannot be a road comic with a baby.
Yeah. And
so I was trying to get another writing job. So I, luckily got Conan when he started out on TBS. So I was on the show for the whole TBS run.
Yeah. So you mostly lived in major markets for comedy?
Yes.
For you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever, what was at what point do you realize, like, okay, I'm done with New York, let's go to LA, or just moving? What's
I didn't feel done with New York. I got a job, and I was like, I have no other choice, because I need money and I have a kid.
Yeah.
So I love New York. And I like Los Angeles. But my kid's in school, I can't just yank them back and bring him back to New York. So,
So when he moves on in the next year or so, when he becomes the adult age, are you just still staying there grounded?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. Like,
right.
I'm like, what's he gonna do? And if I just pack up and leave and go back to New York full time, then like Thanksgiving, what's that? He goes to a place he hadn't really spent much time with. I don't know. It's really something I hadn't thought about until like the last couple of years, and I'm like, oh,
let's work it out here on this minimal podcast. Let's get it.
Do I have the responsibility to keep a home for an adult?
Yeah.
Or can I go, all right, well, I want to do one-nighters in Europe for 2 years. I really do.
Yeah. That sounds good.
I'll tell you, like, as soon as my youngest is out the house, deuces. Like, we're zooming.
I only have
one,
out. But our kids turn 18 around the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're starting to plot.
Are you really?
That escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in 6 years, we're going to have the most amazing tour. So just saying,
Where do you want to go?
I am actually, if I had to move right now, it would be right outside of Houston.
Okay.
So that I could work Austin and Houston. Houston is one of my favorite cities.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Austin right now. It seems like a bad place to go without any momentum. There's a lot of comics. There's way more people in Houston that live there that attend shows.
Oh.
Houston has a large scene and there's a lot less comics.
Oh, gotcha.
There's a lot of good clubs.
Yeah.
It's a very underrated place to be.
Yeah, yeah.
And then to be close enough to Austin to still work Austin.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I'd want to be.
I used to work the Laugh Spot or Last Stop. I forget. Before it turned into Cap City, right?
Wait, no. That closed down. So that's where I've been to that place. I saw Hedberg there. Early 2000s.
And we stayed like in the Allen Inn or something. You know what I'm talking about?
It was like a little club in a strip mall.
Yeah.
And so
it was great.
Yeah, he recorded his first album there.
Oh.
And then I went to go see him because this is the place, and I saw him between his first and second album. And then it closed years later, and I couldn't tell you what year, but yeah. So now in Houston, you got the Improv.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Secret Group, which is like an independent place.
Oh,
and
neat.
then now you got a place at Rutgers called The Riot. And
Okay.
it's like upstairs of this famous historic bar. And it's, we'll talk about it later, but it's an amazing club. 2 shows, 2 Fridays. 2 on a Saturday, and
nice.
It's phenomenal. We just did it 2 weeks ago, and it's
fun,
wonderful place. So Houston's changed because Houston used to be this like taint of the South. After
really
stuff. Yeah, like a bunch of comics would. If you watch like I Am Road comic, a lot of people just shit on Houston, and then it changed within the last like 10 years, and now it's a very beautiful place.
For me, it's such a blessing to have a place to go and like phase 2 my material. 'Cause we do 2 open mics here and whatever book shows we can. So I might do 5 to 6 shows a week. I can go to Houston and do that in 2 days. So it's just such a blessing to be able to jump over there and have.
How far of a drive is that?
3.5 hours.
Okay.
3 some change. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, go up on a Friday, come back Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
So before we finish, you have a brand new special out, and it's I think it's my favorite title, Cis Woke Grief Slut.
That's right.
She came up with it. I'm sorry. That's an interesting title, but I when I read it the first time, I'm like, yeah, that's right on point for you.
Would you watch it? If you saw that, you're like, whoa, what is that? Yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah,
just click on it and watch.
Like, how can you not? It's not called like.
I mean,
funny.
I watched a special today called 45 Jokes About My Dead Dad. So I'll watch about anything.
So we both have dead dads. So we share that in common.
I would have clicked that no matter what.
Like I did a show here we had Brian Posehn, and it was a weird time. And the best thing my dad ever did was die and like start dying. We weren't close. He left when I was a kid. And
wait, you're saying that or Brian told you that?
No, I'm saying
that
to you.
But during that time, like I remember, like he was dying. We had like 2 Brian Posehn shows fully sold out at a venue. Day before, the city closed the venue for permits. That's how we started doing comedy here. Moved it over here, and I remember going up that night and like, did dad material is the only thing I can do, or my dad's dying, and it's like, that's relatable. So anytime we hear did dad jokes, we're like, okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sad comedians in the scene.
I know.
Maggie, her dad's dead.
Jesus.
But, so tell us about the new special.
I did some of the material tonight because I haven't replaced everything. It's
the
replacing
comedians
material
played,
after you put it all in a special is really stressful. I like to sort of, I taped it last April, and
Where at?
At the El Portal Theater in North Hollywood.
Okay.
And Comedy Dynamics is like a production company, so they did 17 in 4 days. So I had the 10 o'clock, I think Friday show or Saturday show, but it was fun. It was good.
Like 17 specials in 4 days?
Yes.
Wow.
What?
Who else in that time was recording?
Kim McVicker. Let's see. Zarna Garg did one. Leah Reddick.
Okay,
hers like right before mine.
Yeah.
I can't. Suba Agarwal did hers.
Yeah. She's killing it right now.
And then I'm blanking.
Okay.
But a bunch
Well,
of-
you don't have to
a bunch
name
of
all
people did,
17. We got
yeah.
That's awesome.
That's fine.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a memory card. Just saying,
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we record 17 specials. Here we go.
I think the crew was exhausted.
Yeah, oh, no
understandably,
shit.
And they
Yeah.
had to like change the backdrop every show.
Man.
Just rearrange everything all the time.
So that comes out Tuesday, which is January 30th?
Correct. Yeah.
All right. So this will be out probably a month past this, I guess,
Okay.
with everything. But we'll definitely check it. So Comedy Dynamics, and then it's going to be...
You could just go to my website, lauriekilmartin.com.
Perfect.
And then there will be a link, and it's available on a bunch of platforms. So whichever one you like, you can go with.
Awesome. So kind of going back to like, once you get that material, where do you work out material for you? Is it just doing like shows and tour, or
The road?
do you
work
ever
out on the road?
Oh yeah, I mean, I always try to slip a few things in on the road. Yeah.
Do you ever do any mics, or do you pop in just like as a like a goof, like let's
Every
see?
once in a while. I mean,
Yeah.
I also feel like kind of open mics. It's so hard for open micers to get on an open mic. Like it's hard, and so to
Not here.
Oh really?
Yeah, we have like 2 open mics in the city, and like
Yeah.
whatever. Like
Yeah, people drive from
Like,
hours away to come
no
to our
one's paying
mics
to do an
Shit.
open mic here.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you're a comedian, or you want to start tonight? Come on,
Please.
Yeah. I do kind of feel like taking stage time to someone who doesn't
you don't
get
want to
much.
bump anyone.
Yeah, versus like
I guess that does make sense because doing a mic in a bigger city, that's essentially what you're doing because
Yeah.
the mics are not, free for all the time.
Yeah. Jackie, sometimes we just do a Zoom show. We can get up to like 100 people coming to a Zoom
Dang,
show.
that's
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a valuable place to work at material,
Yeah.
and it might not always work in person, but I always feel like I get good feedback from Zoom shows.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed
I did
that.
one, and I was like, I'm good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've watched a lot of them, but I
Yeah.
did one. I was like, no, that's fine. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a weird thing. People
Yeah.
invite you to do it, and like, okay. So, all right. Well, Tyler, anything else?
I'm good, man. That was great.
Yeah, we kind of
Oh,
like.
thanks, man.
Yeah,
Sorry
thank
about
you.
the mask, guys.
No,
I'm a
there's
little
nothing to
paranoid.
apologize
Trying to
for.
stay
no,
healthy.
we
Yeah.
get it.
Keep your cooties to yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We don't want your
Thank
girl
you.
germs.
You guys insisted, actually. You're like,
yeah.
you look like you have cooties.
Yeah, we're like either wear a long dress like Pentecostal or cover your face. That's our rules. That's how we do all comedy shows. No. Laurie Kilmartin, check out the new special on should be out Comedy Dynamics, but check out your website, and thank you very much. Check out your podcast with
Jackie Cation. It's called the Jackie and Laurie Show.
Jackie and Laura,
Yeah.
and then also check out Dark Forest, which is great. I have
That's
a shirt.
Jackie's pod. Yeah.
Great, wonderful comic. So so thank you very much. I
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having
Thank
me.
you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Awesome.
Yay.
Don't say and we're back. That was it. That was our intro right there. That was how we're coming back from break.
And we're back
With old fashions.
We got old fashions in hand.
Yeah,
we took a
I
little
would
break.
cheers, but you can't see them because our camera angles.
Wait,
are,
let's do it. We could do it like
our,
that's-
camera
I
angles
don't
are too good, baby.
I'm gonna have to like get some AI on that.
Wait, to do what?
Cheers. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna put in like the heck watch. I'm gonna do one is like just people cheer. Anyway, that was Laurie Kilmartin. What a wonderful person. What a wonderful show. She's so good. She's a legend, and it was a good hang. It was short, sweet. I'm thankful she even did it, but like she had to.
Yeah.
What happened? She had to fly into Dallas, do a show, drive in from Dallas, do a show here, and then come hang out with us hacks. And then the next day, drive to Paris, Texas to go do the comedy festival.
How was that show that night? It was pretty good though, right?
Yeah, it was a really good show.
HCA
It was the best crowd we've had yet.
That's awesome.
And she did a lot of crowd work, and it was fun.
Nice.
It was really good.
Yeah. Laurie's
So,
awesome, man. I didn't want to bombard her with like fanboyisms, but I could have.
Mm-hmm.
I know I touched on Tough Crowd, but like everything, the only reason I know Laurie, no shame on her stand-up game whatsoever, but she's not a household name. I know her from Tough Crowd because I was like obsessed with Tough Crowd as a kid, well before I ever wanted to be a comedian. I loved Colin Quinn, Jim Norton, those guys. And when I say she held her own on that show, she was being kind of like coy or nonchalant about it, like trying to stay humble. But she really did hold her own at tables full of savages.
Yeah.
Like those people don't like, you have to be the funniest person like on earth or you don't get a word in. And she was in there swinging with the big dogs. Attell, Jim Norton, Patrice O'Neill, Greg Giraldo.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
All right.
Laurie's awesome.
Yeah. So thank you, Laurie, for doing this for us, and it was good to have you.
Watch Tough Crowd too. If you're a comedy fan and you've never seen Tough Crowd, that is a staple.
If you like real grainy footage on YouTube,
dude, it's hard to get through. I don't know if there's a nice place to watch it in HD, but
no, that HD wasn't invented then. It was SD and ELP. All right.
Tube Vision. What?
You hear what time it is?
Is that?
It's time for
Hack Watch.
Hack Watch. All right.
Graphic. So stupid.
Who wants to go first?
Who are you asking?
Me or you?
Who wants to? I'll go first.
No, let me go first.
All right.
No, you go first.
No, you already volunteered.
Okay.
This is how our podcast works.
Hang on.
Oh, he's got to wet his whistle because he's about to say something rude about somebody.
I'm not targeting anyone.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see if I can figure it out.
Stop being a little bitch.
Whoa.
That's my Hack Watch. Thank you.
Well, dog, can you text me next time?
Nope. That's it. Stop being a little bitch.
No elaboration?
No, I'm done.
I'm done. I need something. What
just
should people watching this stop being a bitch about?
Themselves. If you're a bitch, and this is a multi-gender term, stop being it. That's it.
Yeah, stop crying.
I can't because I'm done. I've written off 3 people this last month. Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. So you cause them enough drama wherever you are. You ruin venues, and you just you're pissing in everybody's Cheerios, and you're just I'm done.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's weird whenever there seems to be forces at work that fight against comedy being successful or try to. It's so strange, but also.
It's not a competition.
That's true. That's so true.
Stand-up's not a competition.
Yeah, except when I'm on stage and you're doing a set with me.
I mean, except for Stone versus Drunk.
Yeah,
but everyone gets paid.
Except half of the shows that I do are competition
everyone gets paid
shows
the
these
same,
days.
so it doesn't matter. It's equal. It's the best competition.
These last 3 podcasts, we've talked about 4 or 5 different competition shows we've been on.
Forget what we said, guys.
Stand-up's not a competition unless it is.
But March 16th, Stone versus Drunk here at no, comedy's not a competition. I'm proud when you get shit.
Absolutely.
You're proud when I get shit.
No doubt.
I'm proud when other people get shit. That's how it's supposed to be. It's uplift. You carry your peers. You celebrate it. That's what it is. But for people in different cities and scenes or whatever, just stop messing everything up. And then I'm tired of answering to 2 other 3 people who are giving me questions because this person's like, whatever. Not this person, these people.
Yeah.
Stop being a little bitch. Either do comedy or stop doing comedy. That's it. That's my Hack Watch. Short and sweet.
Yeah. Stop
Clip
being a little bitch.
Clip it. That's it. I think I'm getting stickers.
What are they gonna say?
Is it gonna be me doing this? As I say, stop being a little bitch.
I don't know. I think we have to have something stronger than a picture of you to carry that sticker. I'm
gonna be wearing
a picture of a dog, and it's like, stop being a bitch. It's like
I'm gonna wear that horse helmet that I wore at Gator Cove. You know. So all right, that's it, Tyler. That's it. Jason's not getting angry tonight.
Yeah, there's nothing to get angry at. Now
Well,
look,
I'm angry.
You said comedy's not a competition. That is 100% true. I will admit right here and now that I am not immune to feelings of jealousy or envy of other comics or scenes or opportunities that people get. But your character shines through in that moment.
Yes.
How much character you have and how, everything in your life that you've, built a tool set around as far as, social skills, character building, things like that, comes to a head in that moment whenever jealousy creeps in. How do you react to it?
And everyone has jealousy. Like, when you got Skankfest, I wasn't jealous, but in part of me, of course, I want to be there. Just like when you go to McDonald's and there's someone having a birthday party. This is a long time ago. Anyway.
Oh my God, please. We need your therapist here for this one.
Back in the 1980s, you go to Chuck E. Cheese,
Look,
like,
bro,
I'm just going to play some skee ball.
Can't tell you how many times I've gone to McDonald's and been like, Mom, why can't I have parties here?
Why can't I be bored every month? You go to Chuck E. Cheese, you go and play some skee ball, and there's a kid having a birthday party. Like, I want to be there.
Yeah.
I want to meet the mouse. I want to do stuff. But of course. But then you're happy for that person.
Yeah.
When you got Skankfest, of course I wish I was on that festival. But I was like, hell yeah, this is great for Tyler because everything that you get helps everyone else. The knowledge, the connections, everything we bring up. And then I do this, and then it's the same thing. And we keep on bringing each person up.
Now let's say you are not happy for the person, but you're still jealous. You take that and let it drive you. Let it motivate you.
Yeah.
Don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch.
Right? Like, you can still not like somebody, be jealous of them, and then let that drive you and motivate you as opposed to whatever else that outwardly turns into.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry.
Don't be it. No, nothing to be sorry about. We're cooking now. We're fucking. This is good. This is
be
good.
a bitch.
We're gonna get messages for this one.
Good. Good.
All right. My turn.
Yeah, you go
All
ahead.
right. I have a more conventional hack watch that will help some comedians in our scene.
We're gonna bring it down a little bit. No, my message helps people in the scene.
Yeah,
Don't be a bitch.
It does. Don't be a bitch.
No one's a bitch in our scene, but All right, go ahead.
This is easily the most amount of bitches we've had on the podcast. So
we ain't even doing Snoop Dogg songs. All right. We call this the Buck Cherry segment.
We're not even watching 101 Dalmatians.
Oh boy.
All right. So my hack watch this week is stop not changing.
Ooh.
It's time to grow. There's a lot of comedians across the nation who are going through the motions. They're doing the jokes the same way every time, and they're not working. I see it constantly. If you're recording yourself and your jokes are not changing from week to week and they're not working, what are you doing? Why are you recording? Why are you going through the motions? Why are you only doing half the work? Like, it's not like, if you're going to go through the motions, go through the motions. Don't waste everybody's time. But, man, if your jokes aren't working, change them. Mm-hmm. If you believe in a premise and you like it, keep working on it. Change it. I can't tell you, my jokes grow all the time,
Let me say this. When new comedians come to a show, I try to give them everything they can. And I tell people who've been doing it a year, like, stop videoing yourself. Record your audio.
Yeah, videos only, that's like later.
Yeah, whatever.
Other skill sets.
Record your audio and listen to yourself. And then my main things is you edit, revise. Edit, and I always say it's like writing a paper.
No doubt.
You write a rough draft, you do it, you edit, you revise. You edit, revise. You'll never get that to the final draft, but you want to get as close as you can to it. And if you're just doing the same words over and over again, then what's the point?
That's right.
Unless you're doing different stage things, but you're not. If you're just up there reciting the same thing and it's not working, Edit, revise.
I told Brock White Lions this. Shout out to Brock. He's
Never heard of her.
Brock is a good up and coming comedian. He cares a lot about comedy and he grows every day. And one of the yeah, he's eating a lot. One of
he's dug offshore, ball.
Yeah. They got good cooks offshore.
They do. That's why he's gonna get fat.
One of the things Brock was preparing for one of his first showcases, and he was asking me for a little bit of advice, like, hey, how do I even know what jokes to do? Like, I have this many jokes, I only have this much time. How do I even pick? I was like, so you don't know which jokes are your best? And he literally was like, no, I don't know which jokes are my best. And I was like, you record every set. I see you. Mm-hmm. You post TikTok videos.
Too much.
Why aren't you listening to your jokes and going, oh, that didn't work. That joke's less good than this one. This joke is less good than this one. Like, at some point, you need to start thinking about which jokes are good. Develop an opener. Develop a closer. Like,
I'll clap back on that because in my own head, and I'm guilty of that too, in my own head, I know which jokes I think are my best. And when someone comes up and like, man, I really like this joke, and then multiple people say it, I'm like, oh, I wasn't even thinking of that.
So liking,
that's a big part too.
Liking is different. So
you're getting high off your own supply.
That's a good point. Yeah, because I do want to make a distinction between a joke being good or a joke doing well. What I'm talking about is not realizing that a joke is not doing well.
Yeah.
Right. So like, you should be able to listen to a set and be like, that joke did best this night. This night, this joke did second best. And you look at all your sets, you listen to all your sets, you average that out, and you go, these are my good jokes. These are my not good jokes. But it's more than that.
Yeah.
Go another level. Not everybody writes down all their jokes, so this won't apply to you specifically, but you still need to practice this, just not in the way that I'm going to say it. If you write down your jokes, write them down in a way so that you're separating out the parts that you think are funny in bullet points so that if it doesn't get a laugh, you can go, not funny.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be funny. It's not. Well, then I need to change it.
Yeah.
Right? There's too many people that are just like, they're delivering what they think is a punchline. It doesn't work. And then instead of figuring out how to make that punchline work, they just come back and do it again and do it again and do it again. And the crowds are mid on it all the time. And it's like, change, listen, change, grow.
And sometimes it's so simple. I do a bit about porn, and I say there's two types of people that don't like porn. And I used to say one, and I forget what I even said, and Isaac goes, hey, like, maybe that part's not getting a reaction because people don't understand it, or maybe they just don't, like, they're offended by it. It wasn't anything crazy offensive, but I said this. And he's like, but the second one works.
It's so funny.
Now I just go, there's two types of people that don't like porn, and I say the first one, and I don't even need a second one.
Yeah.
And by eliminating that, change that whole thing.
It actually made the joke funnier because
you
never say the second one, right? So that's a joke in and of itself.
And people are like, what's the second one? I'm like,
also, there are a few jokes that my friends have. I don't think I've ever written what I would call a perfect joke, but some people have perfect jokes. That is an example of a perfect joke. I think John Merrifield has some perfect jokes where it's just like contained in and of itself. I can't think of any way to make it better. Like, it's just so concise and that's poignant.
That's a happy accident because he said that, and I went, let's get rid of this and say the first one. And this is how it happened. I couldn't think of a second one. And then that night I was like number 2. And then I just moved on, and now I don't even say it.
Less is more sometimes.
There you go.
Yeah, no doubt. And in comedy, less is more often. Jesus. If you're long-winded and you're not Dave Chappelle, bro, you're going to have a tough time in the beginning. You're not, like, you have to, those are the things that you have to earn. And it doesn't take a year. It doesn't take 2 years. It doesn't take 3 years. That stuff takes 15 years. That stuff takes, if you want to be George Carlin and Chappelle, by all means, aspire to that. Mm-hmm. But they wrote jokes first and foremost. If you're not writing jokes, you're not growing as a comedian. Yeah. End of story. No, write your jokes. Yeah. Man.
That's what comedy was.
What? The end of the story?
No, that's what comedy is. It's just
writing jokes.
Yeah, writing jokes.
You know what? You know what it all comes down to?
You write
Being
jokes.
funny.
You write jokes, you get on stage, you tell the jokes, you leave.
Yeah.
That's comedy. So.
It's funny how it is. It's all right. So I know you're like being ironic and joking, but
No, totally not. But
like
yeah.
people forget that.
Yeah.
Like it's weird because
Yeah.
people just seem to forget that it's all about jokes. Like you're supposed to be writing jokes.
And also, let me add that. Don't get offended by jokes. I have a thing I say, I don't get offended by jokes. No one's ever told me a joke that offended me. I get offended by people who think they're funny.
Oh yeah, that's way more offensive to me.
That's my biggest thing. Like you think
it's
you're
easy
funny.
for two straight white males to sit here and talk like this, but
You mean
know,
the truth?
Look.
No.
I agree, but also let's be honest about what
Okay.
we're doing here.
I got it. I got it.
We're white guying down here.
We're guying down here. No, in reference to like, I get a lot of people who message me, the Lafayette comedy account, and be like, "Hey man, I'm funny. Put me on the show."
I know.
I got a guy last night. I was sitting at Gator Cove by the
Bro.
fire, smoking a cigar.
Bro, these messages make me laugh.
Have a drink.
I hope he listens to our podcast so he can become self-aware.
He does it. Yeah, he's on Tucker Carlson's monthly or whatever. But it's like, I'm funny. Let me open, and I'm like, who are you? Or like, I'm too funny for open mics. Okay. I do this, like, it just whatever. It's just it's a disconnect or whatever. But
Yeah, bro.
I don't know.
Take that shit to MP Hard R. I sat on
Clip
that till
it,
you were done
Jorge.
talking. I'm sorry.
That's sorry. No, I can't. We have a new producer named Jorge.
I thought it was
What did I say earlier?
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, clip it, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Jorge does the cables. That's
You know why.
That was Tyler Arceneaux that said that. Let's go. That's a good time to go to our sponsors.
Yeah, okay, good. We don't normally do this, but we're gonna make a
saying it right
sponsor
now.
break right now.
Sponsors.
Want to give a big shout out and thanks to our sponsor, Gator Custom Graphics. They are a local full-service sign shop specializing in banners, wide format printing, and vehicle graphics. From your business card to your storefront, Gator has your sign and printing needs covered. Check them out at GatorCustomGraphics.com.
Thanks to our sponsor, Ounce of Hope Aquaponic Cannabis Company. Ounce of Hope provides high-quality CBD and Delta-8 through an advanced aquaponics system for the utmost in quality products. Check them out at ounceofhope.com. Lucia Bakehouse is a small batch from scratch bakery. Step into a world where traditional craftsmanship meets modern flair and indulge your senses in the exquisite artistry of their creations, from buttery croissants that shatter with each bite to innovative twists on classic pastries. Lucia is here to refine your pastry expectations. Visit them today, Lucia Bakehouse.
All right.
And we are back.
From commercial break or whatever that was. I legitimately had to take a breather from.
We're having a good time down here. Mm-hmm. We're now doing Rex. I'm going to go first.
Yeah, all right.
I'm going to go to first because it's related to this episode. Laurie Kilmartin has a brand new special. It came out a couple weeks ago, the week after we had her here. It is called, and I have to read this right so I don't mess it up, Cis Woke Grief Slut. Her words, not mine.
That's all I need to know, bro.
Yeah.
I am about it. I am ready.
Cis Woke Grief Slut.
That's out now?
It's out now. It's been out for about a month or so.
What's it on?
The internet.
All right, hell yeah. Go find it on the
Technology.
internet.
It's on video
Go find it
and
on
audio.
Go find it on the internet. Wherever you find this podcast, maybe.
Yeah, let me hang on. Don't ask us when our next show's at.
yeah, go to the website.
Go to LafayetteComedy.com. It'll tell you the future.
Dude, I had somebody last night ask me to text them when I'm doing the next show, and I looked at them and I said, bro, if I had to do that for everyone who asked, I would never
text
do
4 people.
comedy.
Oh, sorry.
Dope mailing list you got there, JP.
Yeah, no, our mailing list is dope. We're over 6,000 people, but I sent it out. That's it. Don't you need to go? I have My kid who works the door, when's the next show? Go to LafayetteComedy.com.
Yeah, for real, kids.
Tell me what show you want.
Yeah, that's why I tell my mom, don't ask me when you can use the car. Look at my fucking schedule.
Yeah. And you better pack my lunch.
Yeah. Fucking Puddin' Pops, bitch. There's another one. Add the bitch counts up, baby.
And Puddin' Pops 3. Laurie Kilmartin, Cis Woke, Grief Slut, a wonderful special. Check it out. That is my Rex of today.
I'm going to tag on to that, though, an
boy.
additional JP rec. Go check out Laurie Kilmartin's other special on video called 50 Jokes About My Dead Dad. It is fucking hilarious.
Brutal, but
it's
great.
not like, it's not finished or something. It's kind of weird. There's like, it's on YouTube, and there's like some parts where it's almost like she meant to sell it as a special, so they have like cue cards in place. But we talk about joke writing.
Big.
50 jokes. Like some people do put out specials and they did not write 50 jokes for the whole hour. And she definitely delivered 50 fucking jokes.
Yeah.
However.
Not to be confused with 51st Jokes coming back in January 2025.
What? You cannot. You can't just be.
LafayetteComedy.com.
That show is going to be 8 months from now. All right, I had to look up the special name so that I didn't fuck it up. But
It's not that special, all right?
it was. It was.
I
I admittedly
And I
fell
can see
asleep
it
during
right
the
now.
closer, so I have to rewatch it tonight.
And the only reason I'm not recommending it is because, one, you go to wreck it, and also he's not done Lafayette comedy. You hear
Yet.
me? I know Dan St. Germain's been telling you to do this room. I love you. You're the best, but go ahead. Go ahead, Tyler.
Dan Soder.
Never heard of her.
One of my absolute favorite comedians, one of the funniest people you'll ever hear on a podcast.
The best voice person in...
It's between him and Godfrey right now as far as like I think who are like the absolute best.
His Chappelle is amazing.
Nobody does a better Chappelle.
Did you hear his Cat Williams?
Incredible.
Yeah, okay.
Incredible.
And his Native American voice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Asians. I mean, this guy does it all.
Yeah. If you were ready to get offended, no. Shout out the Rex.
Dan Soder on the road on YouTube. It's a tight 40 minutes, bro.
I watched it second time today.
Yeah, it's a tight 40-minute special. Very funny. Dan's HBO special was one of the things that made me fall in love with him as a
Showtime,
comedian.
right?
Did I say?
Yeah, you said HBO.
Okay, yeah. So Dan's
Showtime's our sponsor.
first special,
Okay.
whichever one it was on, was one of the reasons I fell in love with Dan as a comedian. He's absolutely excellent. One of the funniest people on any podcast you'll see. Check him out. He has a good podcast too.
Yeah, Soder. Soder is just him and another comic on a
Yeah.
couch. And he's also on The Rex with Bobby Kelly,
The
Joe
Rex,
List,
yeah.
and Louis J. Gomez. One of my favorite. It's a monthly podcast.
Yeah, it's so good.
And it's so good. It's so inappropriate. It's fun. So,
Yep. Dan Soder. Also, do this room, Dan.
Come on, Dan. God
Look at this
damn it,
room, Dan. We got a
Look at-
sign.
We got
a sign for you, Dan.
Superimpose. And we got like bricks, fake bricks. We got banners. We got carpet.
You think maybe he doesn't like Louisiana.
I don't blame him.
I think he would have fun. I think he would come down here and leave with new
Okay,
voices.
So let me just say this, okay? The reason we do the show at Gator Cove called Gator Fight is because a long time ago, and Bobby Kelly explained this. Bobby went on Dan went on Bobby Kelly's podcast, and they were riffing about a thing, and Dan was doing this Southern Cajun accent, and Bobby was too, and they called it Gator Fight. And then Dan made shirts. This is when Dan was like a nobody. He was opening for Bobby, and he was selling shirts, and it was like a Gator Fight shirt. And everyone was like, dude, that's our joke or whatever. So that's why it's called. So when Bobby was here last year, and we did the clips where we were out at Avery Island.
Oh, God.
And we kept on, when Bobby almost got attacked by an alligator.
that was so funny.
And we kept saying Gator Fight is because of Dan.
Yeah.
So when I named it, I tagged both Bobby and I tagged Dan. And every time I post about it, I'm like, come on, Dan. It's Gator Fight. We're going to have a Gator Fight.
We need Dan in this room, though. We don't need him at the...
Come on, Dan.
brewery.
Like, we'll do a Monday through a Wednesday. Just come do it. Anyway.
I mean, we'll see. Monday through Wednesday?
I don't want to... I'm sorry I have to cancel your Tuesday mic, for it, but...
I'm busy Monday through
Monday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday, maybe Sunday.
Let's give him a weekend,
All
know?
right.
Like Monday, Wednesday, maybe Sunday, the next Sunday. Like the Sunday after the Wednesday.
All right.
That was Rex.
This episode we're doing a new graphic for Rex.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but we're gonna do it. I'm gonna take the.
Ooh,
I know what I'm doing. I am taking the album cover from the first Rex and Effects album.
I like it.
Mr. Hopstep.
All right,
word 'em
yeah,
up.
I'm
All right.
familiar. Word up.
All right, thank you. Everyone watching this, your moms are loving this right
My
now.
mom likes Van Morrison, so.
Oh, well, she got good taste, so. More like minivan Morrison. All right. Jason, cut this from the podcast. Thank you. Let's go to dates. I'm going first. Here
Yeah.
we go.
I'll pull mine up.
This comes out, what? What's the date? The 9th?
We're so bad with calendars.
Yeah. We normally, people have producers. This comes out March 10th, but
We
on
do
March,
it all.
March 12th, Gareth Reynolds from the Dollar Podcast, wonderful comedian. What such a good podcast. I listened to an episode today that was crazy. They take events out the newspaper and go over it. March 12th, Gareth Reynolds will be here. Tickets are rolling, so make sure that you come see him. Gareth Reynolds. When's the last chance you've seen him in Louisiana? Never.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever been there.
Yeah, never. Could be your last chance ever, too, because I heard he has AIDS.
He has an assistant.
Cut that.
I'm cutting that. Thank you.
No, don't.
That's in there.
No, don't.
Gareth, his name's Tyler.
Fat AIDS. Gout. Gareth Reynolds has gout.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, Gareth. Also, Gareth is going to be on this podcast. Maybe. I don't know. We're going to, yeah.
Maybe not
release it.
anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a clip of this. I'm not gonna release it. I'm just gonna send it to him.
That's fine. March 16th through the 18th or 20th, I'm going to be in San Antonio. I'm working on shows. No, hang on. Let's scratch that back. No, I'm in San Antonio the next week. March 16th, I'm coming back. Yes. So I leave. It doesn't matter. I'm in San Antonio.
It doesn't matter. This is just the segment
Doesn't
where we give our dates.
My wife just needs to know, when do I not make a lot of food? Anyway, March 12th, Gareth Reynolds. March 16th, Stone versus Drunk versus Sober here in the Doubletree. The next week, March 21st, we got a special. We're changing our open mic. We got Mike Eaton and friends coming through. It's a special show. The first hour is going to be Mike Eaton, and then we'll roll the open mic if you're dumb. March 23rd, we're going to Lake Charles by court order. No, we're back. Shout out Lake Charles Comedy, Jacob Gidger. Stone versus Drunk versus Sober is back at the Library Riot. Again, they riot because they have books and they're dumb. But no, we'll be there for a wonderful show. And then March 24th, Daddy and 2 local comics from here leave to go to Austin. Daddy's back at the mothership. I'm really going to eat at that Mexican place again. That's all I want. But trying to get past the mothership there, so I'll be doing that. I'm back here on the Tuesday, March 26th. Some hecklers get destroyed as we have Steve Hofstetter on Tuesday, March 26th. March 29th, Erin Putnam and the you may have seen her on OnlyFans, and she's an amazing comedian too. Karen Feehan will be here on March 29th. That's all I got to say. She's a wonderful comic, but
There's only 2 comics I've ever seen their butthole. And these are my dates.
All right.
I'll let you guess.
Shout out Josh Watts and Josh Watts.
March 15th, I am at Beaumont doing some hella
The
good
city?
work.
You're at the city?
I'm at the city.
You want to be in the city?
I'm gonna be inside of Beaumont doing some gay stuff
Beaumont's
with
my
my
nephew's
friends.
name. All right, go ahead.
Is he cute? I'm gonna have. Wait, is he of age? That should have been my first question. I was like,
He's 47.
all right, yeah. Why do you have a 47-year-old nephew? You have a 70-year-old brother.
We're from Alabama. Continue.
All right. March 15th, I will be in Beaumont with John Merrifield, Drew Gotro. We'll be working with Eric Knowles out there, Nicole Pilley of the great Comedy 409 cast.
Who's headlining in that show?
Eric Knowles.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up. God. Nobody's going to understand why you asked me that, but it's going to be so funny for some people. Fuck yeah, dude.
We're off the rails, buddy.
We're fucking cooking. Dates is the best segment of this podcast so far. All right, March 21st, I'll be opening up for Mike Eaton, as he talked about, but he didn't say I'll be there.
Tyler Eaton.
Love Mike. Check me out, March 21st, Legends, The Pub. Then March 28th, 29th, 30th, I'm doing a run with Neil Rubenstein, one of my absolute favorite joke writers on the planet. Neil is a great friend of mine.
Episode 2.
Yes, Neil was on episode 2. Friend of the podcast, Neil Rubenstein. Finally, we get to say friend of the podcast.
What? Who are we? Rogan?
All right. On the 28th, we're going to be in Gonzales at the Cabin. On the 29th, we're going to be in Lake Charles at Library Riot. And on the 30th, we'll be at Cité des Arts.
Yep.
That's going to be great.
Tickets to LafayetteComedy.com.
That's right. For one of those shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones at Cité.
We co-pro in that one.
Yeah,
so.
Lunchbox is doing one, and Jacob Guidry, Lake
Lake Charles
South Lake Comedy. It's the old fashions. They're getting to me.
Sulphur Chuckle Fest.
April 5th. We have dates forever. April 5th. Gator Fight, baby.
Oh, we're back.
You didn't even talk about Gator Fight.
No, I was just doing March.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, you went all the way to like.
I did March 29th.
Okay.
I stopped.
Never mind then. Well, then I will stop at April 13th. I'm in Baton Rouge at Squeaky Pete's. It is
what show?
Comedy no show.
Oh, no show. Okay.
Yeah, no show with Terrence Delane. Great comedian. Weird venue. But Squeaky Pete's, me and John Merrifield. That's pretty much it. No reason to talk about Bobby Kelly on the 19th and the 20th.
April. I'm going into it. April. Just some dates for you. Let me pull this up. Let me just say we're gonna have a weekend.
It's gonna be like what we've. If everything that we hope comes together, dude, that's gonna be a comedy weekend that no one wants to miss.
Let me just say that we're trying to do a live podcast here.
This podcast
here with a special guest. But let me just say, April 3rd, Chris Porter here, Club 337. April 4th, I'm with Chris Porter at the Manship. April 5th, Gator Fight. April 7th, a Sunday, Dave Ross and Caleb Sinan. April 10th, Doug Key. He's one of Norman's best friends, opens for him. April 11th, Rob Hayes, Jamel Johnson. And then that weekend, April 18th, Mike Kaplan. April 19th, Bobby Kelly. April 20th, Bobby Kelly. April 20th, Late Show, Stone versus Drunk versus Sober, a 420 show. April 20th, maybe a live podcast. And then April 21st, Ghost Roast, here on a Sunday.
That's fire.
Let me just add a few more. April 24th, Nate Bargatze at the Cajun Dome.
These people stopped caring back when we started talking about April.
That's all I got. I'm not going to admit.
Nate Bargatze's coming. We're gonna go.
Never heard of him.
Nate.
Anyway,
I got my mom tickets. My mom loves
Nate.
Nate.
Have a good time. That's it. We're dying down here.
We're so dying down here.
We'll see you in 2 weeks with our next guest, Steve Lawley.
Stephen Lawley.
Stephen Lawley.
Stefan
Lollipop. His name's Steve Lawley.
Lollyberg. Stephanie Lollyberg is next week. Or we don't even do a weekly podcast. In 2 weeks, we'll have
Steve Lawley.
Stephen Lollifer.
That's it.
Bye.
This is way too long.